From WDTN, the station that's working for you, this is 2 News at 11.
I mean, we've lived here for almost 11 years and we've not had any trouble. You know, it's a very peaceful neighborhood.
One man is in custody after a standoff in Huber Heights. Coming up here from neighbors who saw it all happen. Plus, the U.S. Embassy in Israel is now moving to Jerusalem. Coming up, more on the protest planned in opposition to the move. Good evening, I'm Jordan Bowen. First at 11, thunderstorms and hail are being reported in some parts of the Miami Valley tonight. Let's head over to Storm Team 2 meteorologist Tara Hastings for a first check of your forecast.
Yeah, we had some showers and thunderstorms a couple of hours ago, but the atmosphere beginning to come a little bit more stable. We're seeing those showers and thunderstorms come to an end. Here's the current picture in Live Doppler 2 HD, our network of radar scanning the skies. But quite a big difference here. Just about an hour or so ago, we had some showers and thunderstorms producing some hail here in Preble and also western sections of Montgomery County, but those now falling apart. Today, we got up to 87 degrees. It was a little bit more muggy out there as well. The normal high for this time of year, right around 71. And currently at Dayton International Airport, we're checking in at 73 degrees. We have winds out of the south right now at about 10 miles per hour. Dry conditions here in Montgomery County along I-75 with our Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems camera. And at the bus stop tomorrow morning, may see just a slight chance for a few showers, especially north of I-70. It is going to be mild with temperatures near 66. We'll time out our chances for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, coming up in your full forecast.
Well, one man is in police custody tonight after a 4-hour standoff comes to an end in Huber Heights. 2 News reporter Judith Ratana is following up tonight, live with the latest from police.
Jordan, tonight police are saying that man arrested in a standoff will likely face several charges, while the street this happened on is back to being the quiet neighborhood it's always been.
24 hours ago, this neighborhood looked a little more like this. Police cars flashing lights, blocking off Highbury Road, while a man inside this home refused to come out.
The cop car was sitting there. I mean, it was so quiet and peaceful out here. I'm like, what is going on?
Kim England lives just down the street from where the man was held up.
I seen a cop walking down the street, and I seen some neighbors standing out in their yard, but I didn't know what was going on.
It wasn't until later that she found out this was a standoff. Police say they were first sent here for a domestic situation. A woman told police her boyfriend had held her for 2 hours, not allowing her to leave the home. She says he threatened her with a gun.
She also stated that he made comments that he would shoot the police officers who responded to the house.
Police say the suspect is a convicted felon with a violent criminal past. In 2016, he was accused of shooting at a Dayton woman. Police say he's someone who should not have a firearm.
We told people to stay inside. Anybody that would come up on foot, we asked them to leave so that we could keep them safe.
It was a situation opposite to what neighbors are used to.
We've lived here for almost 11 years and we've not had any trouble. You know, it's a very peaceful neighborhood. That's why we like living here.
After several hours of negotiating, the suspect gave himself up to police. He was then taken into custody.
It was kind of shocking.
A peaceful end on what's usually a peaceful street.
Now, at this point, police are not identifying that man who's been arrested. They're only saying he's 47 years old with a violent criminal past. They are saying he might be facing charges related to kidnapping, domestic violence, and weapons. Reporting live in Huber Heights, Judith Ratana, 2 News, working for you.
A Crime Stoppers alert for you tonight. Kettering police are now looking for this man. Officials say he broke into several vehicles and damaged property at the Amco station on Wilmington Pike. Police say he could be driving a small white truck. If you have any information on the suspect, call Crime Stoppers at 222-STOP. Well, a man is behind bars tonight after a high-speed police chase in Sydney. According to a police sergeant, the car was reported stolen Saturday afternoon. When police spotted the same vehicle, an officer attempted to pull the car over, but the driver took off. Police stopped the pursuit because of high speeds. The driver eventually crashed into a tree on North Main Avenue near Parkwood Street. After a short foot pursuit, the suspect was taken into custody. He's currently being held in the Shelby County Jail. An Ohio headline for you tonight. We may soon learn more about Kyle Plush's death. He's a Cincinnati teen who died in his Honda van after 911 dispatchers were unable to locate him. Cincinnati lawmakers are now saying conclusive findings from the investigation will be presented at tomorrow's city council meeting. We'll be sure and keep you posted. Well, this weekend, a special memorial service near Cleveland is paying tribute to what could have been after thousands of eggs and embryos are destroyed in a storage tank. New at 11, Amanda Van Allen has the story.
A dedication to the babies that will never be.
The only way I can equate it is just losing any loved one.
Flowers of all colors surrounded the memorial bench. There are words all around it, but on top it reads, "Our hopes and dreams lost."
It still feels surreal. That's part of the reason with the memorial, just something to anchor ourselves onto to where we can start the closure process.
Today, hopeful parents whose wishes of having children naturally have vanished gathered at the Woodvale Cemetery in Middleburg Heights. They were all there to say goodbye to their eggs and embryos for the last time. Kate and Jeremy Plans, who can no longer have kids after losing 5 of their embryos in the malfunction, organized the memorial.
We're here to honor the loss of our embryos and other people's eggs, which represented to us future children. And this is just somewhere where we can remember them and we can say, like, you were here, you mattered.
In March, a refrigerator holding over 4,000 eggs and embryos at university hospitals overheated, and every single potential child inside was lost. Since then, UH has come out to apologize for the mishap. But on Friday afternoon, they entered a motion with the court to have lawsuits filed against them dismissed. They write, because there were no expert opinions listed in the filings. An attorney representing 180 couples says the hospital likely wants patients to sue for malpractice, since there are caps on the allowances and the statute of limitations is shorter. Kate and Jeremy say this is just adding insult to injury.
I think they're trying to make this go away. They're just trying to pretend like this didn't happen.
But UH's actions aside, the couple says remembering their loss is what's most important.
It's breathtaking. It feels really validating that they were as important to us as this beautiful memorial shows.
And that was Amanda Van Allen reporting. The U.S. Embassy in Israel is making a major move to Jerusalem tomorrow. Coming up, protests now being planned for the opening ceremony. New at 11, a bear attacks a 5-year-old girl this morning near Grand Junction, Colorado. Authorities say at around 2:30 a.m., the girl went into her yard after hearing a noise she thought was a dog. Her mother heard the girl screaming and ran out to find a bear dragging the little girl. The mother scared the bear off, and the medic took the girl to a local hospital where she's listed in fair condition. A search for the bear continues. Well, Palestinian protesters are promising a day of rage. This as the U.S. moves its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem tomorrow. Tonight, Jennifer Johnson is looking ahead to the move.
The U.S. delegation, led by President Trump's daughter Ivanka, son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner, and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin arriving in Israel ahead of the controversial opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem.
The United States has no greater partner than Israel.
Both Israel and the Palestinians claim Jerusalem as their capital. The Palestinians say President Trump's decision to side with Israel invalidates the U.S. as a Mideast peace broker. The White House disagrees.
If you're not prepared to recognize that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel and that's where the American embassy should be, then you're operating on a completely different wavelength. I think recognizing reality always enhances the chances for peace.
President Trump's decision to move the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv has been widely criticized by our allies, but applauded by Israel's leader.
We are deeply grateful, and our people will be eternally grateful for his bold decision.
The embassy opening comes after violent protests at the Israeli-Gaza border. More protests are expected Monday, so security will be tight.
The United States government has taken a number of actions to ensure that not only our governmental interests, but the American people in that region are secure.
Many European ambassadors who oppose the move will skip the ceremony.
And that was Jennifer Johnson reporting. President Trump is not attending the opening, but plans to address the event in a live video. Well, still to come, no matter the age, it's never too late to get your college degree. Coming up, a 65-year-old Indiana woman's big plans to help people in need now that she's a college graduate. Plus, the Troy Strawberry Festival is right around the corner. Coming up, how you can get involved.
And we have another muggy day with showers and storms possible for your Monday. I'll have your Storm Team 2 forecast coming up.
Well, the Troy Strawberry Festival is looking for volunteers to help out. This according to our partners at the Troy Daily News. The volunteers will help out with the shuttle buses and will also help manage traffic for the festival. The shifts usually last about 3 hours and volunteers receive a free t-shirt. If you're interested, head to our website, WDTN.com. Well, caught on camera, an iPhone explodes in a Las Vegas repair shop. Surveillance video shows the iPhone exploding and flames shooting from the device feet from a worker. The fire sparked while the worker was replacing a broken screen. Officials say an overheated battery caused the explosion.
Over time, those batteries can swell up with the heat. The big issue is that when it blows up just a little bit, it can cause your screen to crack a lot easier.
Experts say iPhone battery explosions are rare but not unheard of. New at 11, at the age of 65, most would be thinking about retirement, but for one woman, she's thinking about the start of her new career. Dorothy Ann Green is one of 53 students receiving degrees this weekend from Martin University in Indianapolis. Green says she plans to continue her education to become an attorney to help people in need.
So many people that can't afford attorneys, and they need them, and they get swept under the system. So, God willing, my blessing is to be able to reach out and lend a helping hand to those that are unfortunate and in need.
Green says she hopes she can live even longer by going into a new line of work.
And now, your Storm Team 2 forecast with meteorologist Tara Hastings.
We may see a few showers and storms for the first part of your Monday with temperatures in the 60s at 8 a.m., 80 degrees by lunchtime, and those high temperatures will climb into the mid and upper 80s. Can't rule out an isolated shower or storm that may pop up later in the afternoon and evening, but it looks like our best chance will be at least for the first part of the day. Right now on Live Doppler 2 HD, those showers and thunderstorms that we saw form about an hour or two ago now have fallen apart. We have dry conditions here on Live Doppler 2 HD, but the last few hours had some intense thunderstorms move through Preble County and also Montgomery County, producing a little bit of hail and some gusty winds, but now those are all off to the east of us. So we're going to see warm and muggy conditions over the next few days. You notice today it felt a little bit more sticky out there. We have those dew point values climbing to the middle 60s, creating just a little bit more of that uncomfortable air mass in place here. We're going to see some showers and thunderstorms for the first part of Sunday as we have that fuel moving through here with those muggy conditions. We are under a slight risk that some of those storms may reach severe criteria during the day on Monday. And a warm and unsettled pattern is going to continue here for much of the work week. We're talking about highs into the upper 80s at times here, at least for the first part of the work week, and we're going to see several chances for showers and thunderstorms. Right now we have some cooler conditions a little bit farther northward with temperatures in the 60s, but we have 70s here from Troy, Dayton, over towards Springboro and into Wilmington as well. Dry conditions outside right now, along 35 from our Goodwill auto auction camera. And our future track forecast model showing that we had those showers and thunderstorms move through. Those are now off to the east of us here. But tomorrow morning, look for partly to mostly cloudy skies, maybe an isolated shower developing to the north and west of us. And that round of showers and storms may sink a little bit farther southward for the first part of the day here. And that will give us a chance for some gusty winds, maybe some brief downpours as well. Then as we go into the afternoon, much of the area I think will be dry again. Can't rule out an isolated shower that may pop up. And then much of the same as we head into your Tuesday, chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. Tonight down to 66 degrees, partly cloudy and mild now. Tomorrow up to about 87 degrees, a shower or thunderstorm possible with partly cloudy skies. In your Storm Team 2, a 7-day forecast, 85 degrees on Tuesday with showers and storms possible. Some more scattered showers and storms possible on Wednesday and Thursday with highs around 80, dropping into the upper 70s for Friday with a few scattered showers and storms. And again, not going to be a complete washout for the next 7 days, but scattered showers and thunderstorms will be possible with highs around 80, which is well above our normal high of 71.
Well, tomorrow starts a big week for the broadcast TV networks in New York City. They'll take turns touting their program plans for the next season to major national advertisers, hoping to grab advance commitments for their ad dollars in the year ahead. NBC will be the first out of the blocks Monday morning, and Mark Barger has a preview. It's new at 11.
No, I hate the word impossible unless it's immediately followed by the words ghost and protocol.
The cop comedy Brooklyn Nine-Nine moves to NBC starting next season, the network rescuing the series days after Fox canceled it. The fact that NBC's sister studio produces Nine-Nine swayed Peacock executives, but fan outrage also helped.
I think it will really fit with, the kinds of comedies that we are known for and are good at.
Joining Brooklyn Nine-Nine at mid-season will be a winter edition of America's Got Talent. A tournament format with past favorites from the U.S. and international winners from around the world.
But it will look and feel like the same show that, people love in the summer.
Thank you. You're all fired.
The medical drama New Amsterdam headlines NBC's new fall series. Former Blacklist co-star Ryan Eggold plays a doctor in a facility based on New York's famed Bellevue Hospital.
At his core, there's this sense of, how can I help? How can I change things? How can I make this better?
Wednesdays become an all-Chicago night of drama with Chicago Med, Fire, and PD airing back-to-back-to-back, while Law & Order SVU moves to Thursdays at 10 for its record-tying 20th season.
We feel bad about something every day.
One new comedy joins the Thursday schedule, I Feel Bad, about a mom, wife, and career woman learning to cope with imperfection.
Your power's destroyed.
Summertime Fright Fest, Midnight Texas also joins the fall lineup, Fridays following Blind Spot. The Blacklist is among the shows back at mid-season, while the fate of cult favorite Timeless remains undecided for a few more days.
All right, so we got some exciting stuff ahead. I heard those yeses. What are you excited for?
Okay, The Blind Spot, Blacklist. I'm a fan of Timeless. I like it.
It was a big fan favorite.
And they brought it back, so I like that. And then what are the other ones? What is that? The medical drama show?
New Amsterdam?
New
that looks
Amsterdam,
exciting.
yeah, because he used to be on the Blacklist, and they killed his character off. So I'm glad to see him popping up on another NBC show.
All I got to say is Sunday Night Football's NBC's top show every
There you
year.
go.
So,
There you go.
whatever. But hey, moving right into sports on Mother's Day, the Reds proved pretty in pink. In fact, the Reds pull off something in L.A. they hadn't done since the days of the Big Red Machine. I'll crank up some 2 Sports. We're rolling your way after these messages.
2 Sports, powered by Ford.
Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there. Not only have the Reds won 6 straight games for the first time in 5 years, they also pull off a 4-game sweep in Los Angeles for the first time since the Big Red Machine days of 1976. Additionally, the Reds captured their first series at Dodger Stadium since 2011. Scoreless game until the third with 1 out and 1 aboard. Eugenio Suarez drives this Rich Hill pitch 377 feet into the left field seats. The 6th-round tripper of the season for Suarez. 2-1 the score in the top of the 4th with Billy Hamilton on third since he pulls off the suicide squeeze. Alex Blandino laying down the perfect bunt. Blandino 2 for 4 at the plate along with that RBI. In 6 innings, starter Luis Castillo faced 20 batters, just 2 over the minimum. He retired 9 in a row at one point. The 25-year-old right-hander allowing 3 runs on 4 hits with no walks and 8 strikeouts. Insurance runs are always a good idea. In the 6th, Joey Votto smacks his 6th home run of the season. In fact, his 2-run shot proves to be the game winner. RBIs 22 and 23. The Reds get out of Dodger Town with the 5-3 victory. Cincy has won 7 of the last 10 and owns the longest current winning streak in the majors. Up in Cleveland, Corey Kluber becomes the first 6-game winner in the American League. The Indians right-hander getting plenty of run support against Kansas City with Jose Ramirez and Yan Gomes each belting 3-run homers and Michael Brantley adding a 2-run blast. Francisco Lindor produced a double and 2 singles to extend his hitting streak to a career-best 14 games. Corey Kluber improves to 6-2, working 7 innings, scattering 8 hits with 2 unearned runs. The AL Central leading Indians take the series by winning the rubber game against the Royals 11-2. Cleveland's record is now 20-19. The news not so good for Cleveland's NBA team as the Eastern Conference Finals tipped off at the Boston Garden. Only the Celtics stand in the way of the Cavaliers reaching the finals for a 4th straight year. LeBron James has played in more playoff games than the entire Boston roster. But the young and restless took it to the Cavs in the opener. In fact, the Celtics scored 17 consecutive points in the first quarter to pull away and never look back. Jaylen Brown pacing the home team with 23 points and 8 rebounds. Marcus Morris adding 21 points with 10 boards. LeBron James was held to 15 points to go along with 9 assists and 7 rebounds. Cleveland missed its first 14 three-point attempts and shot just 32% in the first half. Boston led 61-35 at the break. It was the largest halftime playoff deficit in LeBron's career. The Cavs fall hard to the Celtics, 108-83. Game 2 will be Tuesday night at TD Garden.
Throughout the series, you see ways you can get better throughout the series, but I've been down 0-1, I've been down 0-2. I've been down before in the postseason. But for me, there's never no level of concern, no matter how bad I played tonight with 7 turnovers, how inefficient I was shooting the ball. Just as confident going into a series, no matter if it's a 0-0 series or I'm down 0-1.
107 starts between victories. That was the drought for Webb Simpson. But now that the 32-year-old has tamed TPC Sawgrass, expect his resurgence to make him one of the favorites in this year's U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. It seems the Players' Trophy had Webb Simpson's name on it from day one. Tiger Woods with another solid round. In fact, this approach shot on 12 sets up a birdie, and Tiger was only 4 strokes off the lead at that point. Woods finishing with a 69, tying for 11th at 11 under. Brooks Koepka turning in the best round of the day, becoming just the 8th player to record a 63 at TPC Sawgrass. On 16, check out the approach that drops for the double eagle, better known as an albatross. Koepka also finishing 11 under for the tourney. Webb Simpson, though, not going to be denied. He began the day with a 7-stroke lead. No player had ever squandered that big of a margin on the final day of a PGA Tour event. Simpson closing with a 1/73 for a 4-shot triumph. The North Carolinian now has a Players' Championship to go along with his 2012 U.S. Open title. A 4-day total of 18 under, 270, topping the leaderboard. A trio finishes in a tie for second at 14 under. Webb Simpson earning his first tour win since 2013.
You know, sometimes in golf it's just a mystery. Some weeks something happens, and good solid round the first round, and then second round was pretty special. And, you know, hung in there this weekend to get it done. So, you know, all in all, an incredible week.
12 Cup races are in the books. Kevin Harvick has won 5 of them. The number 4 Stewart-Haas Racing Ford proving to be the car to beat. With 1 lap to go in Kansas last night, Kevin Harvick passed Martin Truex Jr. to seize the C Masterpiece 400.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Tara's here with a final check of the forecast.
Well, we'll see a chance for some showers and storms for the first half of the day. It's going to be warm and muggy with high temperatures into the mid and possibly even upper 80s. It is going to be a little bit unsettled for the next several days, too, with highs into the 80s here, with showers and thunderstorms possible during the afternoon.
All right, thanks, Tara. Thanks for watching 2 News at 11. For the latest news and weather anytime, head to our website, WDTN.com. See you again tomorrow starting at 4:30. Have a great night.